Daniel confronts Sharon, and Ian decides that spoiler is the key to his revenge plan. And who was Matt Clark on The Young and the Restless? Everything you need to know. I will explain everything. Never miss this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Daniel confronts Sharon, and Ian decides that spoiler is the key to his revenge plan. At Crimson Lights, Summer and her mother sat awkwardly. Even though Phyllis is furious with Michael's disgusting shift in defense for Sharon, her daughter reassures her that it is only a symptom of desperation. Her mother isn't entirely convinced that Sharon won't get away with this either, considering how much she has gotten away with throughout her past. Justice is needed for the numerous victims she has left behind. Summer advises her to put this behind her and concentrate on her goals for the future. As Billy enters, Phyllis looks at him and acknowledges that her daughter might be correct. Summer gets up to go as Billy sits down with them. She leaves to take her son to hockey, and Phyllis thanks her for coming. Billy notes she's looking a little less miserable. When Phyllis tells him she's moved on from wallowing to being ready to blow things up, he threatens to walk. She informs him that Sharon and her team of diffusers have found a way to game the justice system. A few feet away, Ian eavesdrops on them from a table. Phyllis explains that she called Billy there because she needs to put her son first. She's thought about it and can't work with him on his plan to go after Victor when she needs to focus on Daniel. The abbot admires how protective she is of her children, but what can she do? Phyllis is determined to do something and complains that Michael and Nick are totally deluded and Sharon has dated most of the cops at the GCPD. She can't let this investigation get opened again. Billy warns that she is not the judge and jury, and obsessing over this will only wear her down. Is she going to go after Sharon herself? As she claims she won't do that, Ian smiles and walks out. Phyllis wonders why justice is only considered such when it goes through the courts. You want me to explain civilized society to you? Billy asks. She's been having visions of getting payback on Sharon for all the damage that she's caused her family by just walking around town. He can understand wanting retribution. She adds it doesn't need to be death. It just has to be something if the court fails. Billy tells her that following through on gruesome plans will solve nothing. It would be a monumental mistake. Phyllis is sure Sharon and her crew are just throwing things at the wall to see how they stick. He reminds her of when she went up against Diane, framed her, and faked her own death. It's not wise to do something that desperate again. It would be better if Phyllis channeled her energy into working for him. She accuses him of suggesting that his desire for vengeance is valid while hers is not. My way keeps you free so you can be there for your family, he points out. The fight he's advocating for is one they can win. It would give Daniel and his talent a place to land. She'd like to be part of that, but this Sharon situation is demanding her attention. Billy says the time is now for them to take what they deserve and never let it go. As they walk outside, Billy explains that this is a lifeline to give Daniel comfort and support. Phyllis would like that, but she's so tired of Sharon and Nick. He repeats that she needs to let that go. It's pointless, and they need to concentrate on something they can do. Daniel encounters Nick when he wanders inside Crimson Lights. The Newman inquires about Lucy's Christmas experience. As he has been thinking about him, Daniel notes that although he and Lucy made an effort to please Heather, she believed that she would be betraying her mother if she enjoyed the holidays. Lucy merely shed a few tears and attempted a grin. After a day like that, Nick is confident it is difficult to return to reality. Since hearing that Sharon says there was a third person in the flat, and that they are the actual murderer, Daniel is experiencing some difficulties with reality. Nick explains that Sharon had hypnosis because of gaps in her recollection when they are seated at a table. They discovered a gloved hand in this way, and Heather fell across the room. Daniel is not impressed by this new evidence. He questions whether all of this is only a convenient hallucination. Nick is aware that although it would appear that way, she didn't do it. It is unclear who did it. All they can do is hope the cops will look into it. Even if the building's surveillance footage was unsalvageable, there is still a chance that something else from the area will surface. Investigating this will need detective effort. Daniel finds all of this absurd and wants to hear Sharon's side of the story. At Sharon's, she and Michael explain to Chance that she has been having hypnosis sessions and they have been filling in the blanks she's had in her memory thanks to her blackouts. In the latest session, she recalled a gloved hand and heard Heather collapsing across the room. The detective reminds her that she's already confessed and entered a plea. He's looked at every piece of evidence, and there's no indication anyone else was there. She remains the only suspect. The cop isn't finding any of this compelling, but the lawyer is ready to take this and the proof that her meds were laced with PCP to the authorities. Sharon admits that she framed Daniel, and her lawyer says they will deal with that later. He urges Chance to reopen the investigation. Sharon backs this up and insists she didn't kill Heather. She's not saying that to avoid punishment, but because it's the truth. The real killer is still out there somewhere. Michael declares that this is about a woman's death, another woman's freedom, and the safety of everyone in Geno City. Chance requests further information, but neither Sharon nor Michael can provide it. They need the cops to investigate this because of this. Chance is the ideal candidate for this position, according to Sharon, and Heather's family should know who took her away. Daniel and Nick show up. Daniel wants to know what Sharon is attempting to accomplish now, but he doesn't want to be there. He wanted to hear the new defense they were developing, according to his mother. Chance and Nick caution him against being very heated. Are the police buying her crap? Daniel wonders. Sharon apologizes that he must consider this over the Christmas break. She maintains that this is serious business and that if Phyllis hadn't attacked her, she would have said nothing. The detective says Daniel is simply giving them the benefit of the doubt when he questions Chance. When he acknowledges that he will provide a case to reopen the inquiry, Sharon exhales with relief. After Chance walks out, Daniel complains that he can't even tell his daughter to believe in justice while they are around. Sharon tells him he has every right to be skeptical of her. Daniel says he doesn't need her to validate the way he feels. Sharon tells him how hard it is for her to deal with this. She's determined to take responsibility for her actions, but she needs to know what happened. He complains that she keeps changing her story. Nick stands up for his ex and says that what she saw under hypnosis was real. Daniel can't put much faith in that and wonders why Michael is leaping to this when he had a defense in place. The lawyer says he genuinely believes this. They need to look under every rock because the killer is still out there. It scares him that they don't know how all these things are connected. But they need to find Heather's killer. Daniel doesn't know what to think anymore, but suggests they keep him posted so he doesn't have to find out from someone else. Sighing, Daniel says this part was all supposed to be over. Losing Heather was starting to feel real. Now, is he supposed to imagine her killer is out there watching? Sharon begs him to listen to Nick, Michael, or Chance. This is not just about her case, but about his safety. The killer is out there and may not be done. After he storms out, Sharon worries about how much more he and Lucy will have to endure. Nick explains that he is going to look into this too. Ian hurries back to the motel and slams the door. Jordan asks if he's acting that excited out on the streets and drawing attention to them. Taking off his coat, he explains that a problem caused by her fumble is about to be rectified. Plus, they can have some fun in the process. That sets her off, and they bicker about all the work she's done. Jordan reminds him that she's gotten diddly for all she's accomplished so far. He's apologetic and tells her they need to stay on the same page going forward. More blood will need to be spilled, he says. Jordan asks what the plan is. He explains it involved Phyllis. They met in the woods once, and he cooked her trout. It was a moment out of time. He won't explain more. She wonders if she should be jealous. He hopes she will be energized, assuring Jordan that Phyllis means nothing to him. He adds that her animal nature makes her the perfect target for his next scheme. Summer walks inside Crimson Lights while laughing on the phone with Harrison. When she runs into Chance, the atmosphere deflates. They discuss Harrison's Christmas in passing. The police officer assured her that the remote-controlled vehicle would not have a siren before dropping it off. When she mentions Sharon's change of tale, the situation becomes even more awkward. That could be a risky subject for them to discuss. He detests the fact that this matter has separated them. It was terrible not to see her for Christmas, and he can't keep managing their break the way they have. Summer and Chance both hate what's happened, but don't know where to go from here. He's not sure anything has changed since she must still have a problem with his job. She gets that, but reminds him that this case is very personal to her. Chance reminds her he has rules he has to follow. Summer can concede that. Clearly, there are things she needs that he can't give her. Chance admits he's been second-guessing how he's handled the whole case. That could happen again. Will it make her crazy to be around him if Sharon walks? They don't need to go through that again. After hearing his side of this, Summer can understand that Sharon's case is not his fault. She was worried about her brother and took it out on him. She just wanted the nightmare for Daniel to end. The detective doesn't hold it against her. He has no idea what will happen with this case, but asks if they can get dinner sometime. Smiling, Summer says she'd like that very much. Who was Matt Clark on The Young and the Restless? Everything you need to know. Fans of CBS's The Young and the Restless, which debuted in 1973, are still captivated by its captivating plot and surprising turns. When Matt Clark first appeared on the show in 1994, he was a high school student. Nick Newman and Sharon Collins dominated his character arc. Before she selected Nick, which led to conflict, he was Sharon's partner. He had a very problematic character on The Young and the Restless, and when he felt cornered by Nick Newman, they ended up fighting. Tensions in Geno City, Wisconsin, increased after Matt Clark attacked Nick. In one case, Sharon was severely traumatized when Matt raped her out of jealousy and rage. Nick later went up to Matt. Matt has had a turbulent character path on The Young and the Restless. He was discovered shot and lying in a pool of blood following his altercation with Nick regarding his attack of Sharon. After being falsely accused and held accountable for the crime, Nick Newman was sentenced to 15 years in jail. The true shooter, Amy Wilson, a friend of Sharon's, was later found to have been molested by Matt as well. As a result, Matt left Geno City in 1996 and Nick was freed. In 2000, Matt Clark from The Young and the Restless made a comeback to Geno City while posing as Carter Mills. As Carter Mills, his desire for vengeance drove him to attempt to exact revenge on Sharon and Nick by getting plastic surgery. He entered Sharon and Nick's cafe, Crimson Lights, which ultimately led to Nick's arrest on fictitious drug possession charges. Matt continued and tried to attack Sharon once more, but Nick was able to save her. Because of his savagery, Matt attempted to frame Nick Newman even as he lay dying. After he disconnected his own breathing tube in an automobile accident, he attempted to blame Nick for his death. He passed away in 2001, therefore his character was ultimately written off. 3 actors have played Matt during his time on the show. On The Young and the Restless, Matt Clark was played by Eddie Cibrian from 1994 to 1996, Russell Lawrence in 2000, and Rick Hurst from 2000 to 2001. One of the most antagonistic characters on the program is still Matt Clark. While Phyllis is hatching a plan against Victor Newman, recent plotlines on The Young and the Restless have focused on Sharon navigating novel and perilous hazards that might be fatal and have not yet been disclosed to viewers. Billy is seen supporting Phyllis and working with her on this coup. Many Geno City people found Victor's remarks at the family Christmas celebration to be sincere and enjoyable, while Chance and Summer were shown attempting to work out their relationship. Jack and Kyle were shown spending time together and growing closer over the holidays. Additionally, Ian's past with Jordan was made public, which could heighten the drama in future episodes. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.